Before the Renaissance era, 3/4 of all books in the world were in Chinese. Fact 6. The human eye can see a candle flickering up to 30 miles away on a dark night. Fact 7. Due to a genetic mutation, the first blue-eyed humans only began to appear 6 to 10,000 years ago. Fact 8. For less than the cost of a Ferrari, you can buy a renovated Boeing 737. Fact 9. There are approximately 250,000 active patents applicable to the smartphone. Fact 10. Sugar was first invented in India, where extraction and purification techniques were developed in 510 BC. Before that, the most popular sweetener was honey. Fact 11. The typical American spends $1,200 on fast food every year. Fact 12. A camel can drink 53 gallons of water in 3 minutes. That's 200 litres. Fact 13. The amount of water on Earth is constant. However, a billion years from now, the sun will be 10% brighter, increasing the heat, causing Earth to lose all of its water. Fact 14. You cannot invent faces in your dream, which means you've encountered every face you've seen in your dream in real life. Fact 15. Crabs are able to regenerate their legs and claws to 95% of their original size. Fact 16. The largest living creature on Earth is the Great Barrier Reef, which measures at 1,200 miles or 2,000 kilometers long. Fact 17. The Old Testament was written over the course of 1,000 years, whereas the New Testament was written within 75 years. Fact 18. Astronauts would weigh 1/6 of their weight if they were in space compared to on Earth. Fact 19. If 2 rats were left alone in an enclosed area with enough room, they can multiply to 1 million within 18 months. Fact 20. It's impossible to taste food without saliva. This is because chemicals from the food must first dissolve in saliva. Once dissolved, chemicals can be detected by receptors on taste buds. Fact 21. The heaviest drinkers in the world are in Belarus, with 17.5 litres consumed per capita every year. Fact 22. Polar bears evolved from brown bears somewhere in the vicinity of Britain and Ireland. Fact